you spend any time in the fishing industry, you quickly realize that it's a big, huge family. And what affects one of us affects all of us.
Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast, inspiring real women with a passion for fishing and the outdoors to go get their adventure on. Now, here's your fearless host, Angie Scott.
Hey, welcome to the special episode of the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast. This week, I'm going to tell you about a brand new website that just launched last week, and you're going to want to go check it out. It's called fishforeachother.com, and in a nutshell, this website serves as a centralized hub providing a way for people to support members of the fishing industry affected by COVID-19 and deliver ongoing fishing-related news and content. Thousands of people who make a living in the recreational fishing industry, from guides to small business, mom and pop tackle shops, to so many other facets of the industry, are in grave danger right now, and we want to see those businesses still in business once we get on the other side of this thing. So I'm going to let the guy behind the company and the website, Ryan Chuckle from Gunpowder Inc., tell you more. So let's just jump right in. Ryan from Gunpowder Inc., welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast.
Thanks. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So I just got wind, the reason why I wanted to bring you on is I just got wind of this brand new website that just launched called fishforeachother.com. And I was looking at it this morning and I was like, what a great concept, especially in the times that we're in right now, which I imagine is possibly what brought it about. If you could you talk a little bit about what the website is and how it came about?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for, I'm glad that it caught your eye, and we're pretty excited about it. Obviously, this everything that's going on right now is impacting everyone. I don't think there is a person in the world that isn't going to feel the effects of this. And, present company included. So I have a marketing agency, and a lot of our clients are in the fishing industry, in the outdoors industry, and it's a category that I have a personal passion for, and something that I've spent 20 years in the business trying to build up a book of business doing something that I love. And so it's just, I guess what it comes down to is when there's a threat, it's like you kind of protect the ones that you love. And so your family comes first, obviously, and your friends and the people that surround you in your community. And then the business community, if you spend any time in the fishing industry, you quickly realize that it's a big, huge family. And what affects one of us affects all of us. And the first things we started hearing as the realities of this situation came to light were the plight of a lot of the guides that depend on spring business, that were losing bookings. And those bookings aren't just important because they're able to be on the water taking somebody fishing, but because that represents revenue. And when you start to chip away at somebody's busiest time of year, especially a sole proprietor, it's hugely impactful. And so it just struck us really quickly that those are a lot of those guides, a lot of the people that are running small independent businesses are really the lifeblood of the fishing industry. They're the influencers. They're the folks that people depend on. And, we just started thinking, what could we possibly do to help?
Right. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize some of these guides, like, this is their time of the year to make their money to sustain them for the rest of the year, when what they're doing really isn't in season or whatever. So I've been seeing that a lot especially down in Florida. A lot of people are really going to be hurting, and as this kind of all these things roll out and there's changes every day, it seems like, as far as who's allowed to go fishing, what you're supposed to be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. In the beginning, at least, everyone was like, oh, the fishing industry is thriving because, this is one thing you can do to go out and still be social distancing, but not so much when you're a guide.
Right. Yeah. It's that's kind of the great irony of this, is that, I live in Wisconsin, and we live in a little area called the Lake Country, and it's filled with lakes, and there's little ponds and streams. And the experience I've had and others have had locally is that we see more people fishing right now than ever before. And I'm hopeful that the positive legacy of this whole thing is that it brings more people into the sport. I know that, from some of our clients, we've heard that a lot of the sales at Walmart are doing really well with combos, entry-level products. That's exciting. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily put any dollars in the independent tackle guys' pocket, because they're closed. Maybe they're doing curbside. Maybe they're trying to build up an online business when they've really depended on foot traffic. And it definitely, based on the social distancing restrictions, does not put a dollar in a guide's pocket. So maybe down the road, but man, we just got to get people through these next few months, or however long it takes to get through this time where, unfortunately, we've got to fish alone or with people that we're spending time with. And so these guides and these independent tackle shops and dealers need help, and they need business. And so the idea behind the site was essentially to say, I don't think any of us feel like we're going to solve it all at once. Yeah, this is going to take millions and millions of dollars to correct. And that's not just money that comes from the government, although they're doing their part, I think, to help some small businesses and sole proprietors with some of the SBA stuff. But it's going to take consumer action. It's going to take people spending money. And right now, that's a hard thing to ask people. It's a hard thing to ask people to give right now, because everybody is being impacted financially from a business and personal standpoint. What we're saying is, and the goal of this site is to say, look, there are places that are open for business maybe in limited fashion, but we want to direct people to what those places are and help to at least bring some additional awareness. So even if it's a small tackle shop in Missouri, but they're selling online, go there, go online. If you're going to buy some stuff anyway, buy from them. And so we're just trying to direct people to those things. And then also, rather than create a fund and try to do something on our own, we said, listen, let's just bring all of the efforts together in one place. So there's some things from post fly box. They've got a save our season campaign. That's something that's focused on mostly on fly fishing guides. So it's not all encompassing, but you know what? They're doing something. There's real money behind it, and we want to bring it to light. There's also another effort that's being put on by the Florida Keys Guide Association. The Keys are basically shut down. Mm-hmm. And so they've got their own fundraising effort. Again, our site, Fish for Each Other, is just about bringing that forward so that if people say, hey, I fish the Keys, I want those guides to be there when I want to go again next time, because that's really the way that I go and fish there. They know about it, and they've got a way to support it.
Yeah, that's such a great idea and so needed right now in a time like this. What other kinds of resources could people expect to find going to fishforeachother.com?
So the other things that we have there are we kind of are curating news. So I'm not going to go as far to say as it's definitive, because we basically got people that are from our team sort of volunteering time and taking time away from our day job to curate it. But we're trying to be thoughtful about finding news related to fishing during these times around regulations. There's certain states that have waived license fees for the year. There's certain states that are closing boat ramps and parks. There's others that are keeping them open, in fact, promoting for people to fish safely during this time. And so we think it's really important that people have a place to find that information. Of course, they can always go to their state, DNR, Fish and Wildlife. But this is sort of a place for people to stay on top of all the news as it surrounds this particular issue. Even there's some opinion pieces in there that we just may or may not agree with, but find interesting, because it is a really interesting time and lots of dynamic things that are changing. So trying to put some news out there. And then we've also we've just tried to pull together some content that, if nothing else, is entertaining, and even in places where people can't get out on the water, just ideas on, pieces of content that they can consume that just keep people in the frame of mind, and the people that love fishing, that they can sort of live vicariously through some cool videos and pieces of content as well.
Yeah, that really impressed me this morning, just looking at it. I didn't know Guy Harvey was doing this live video series on his Facebook showing, people art and like how, some of his processes, and, that's great for kids right now when they're home from school to get some art in there. And if it's fishing related, hey, that's all the better. So I was really excited personally to see that. So I think your team is doing a really great job on the content that they're putting on the website. And I'm sure that that's only going to continue, as we get further into this. So, great job to everybody that's working on it so far.
Thanks. Yeah, we've like I said, we all love to fish. It's an industry that, is as much about the passion for the sport and making sure that it survives and that we expose more people to it. And, coming out of this, we've got to keep as many people employed, keep as many people engaged in the category as possible. And, so yeah, we appreciate you spreading the news. It's just, it's something that is, we hope kind of catches on and gives more people an opportunity to engage and to support the industry. The other thing that I want to point out is we've actually got a form on the website. So if you know of anybody that's in your area that is a guide that wants to share their services and be listed on the site, or a local tackle shop that's doing curbside or delivery or is selling online and wants to promote it, go fill out the form and we will put it on the site. And we've got a pretty decent amount of those right now, but anybody that, is listening, or anybody that, has suggestions, we're happy to put it on there. It's really about, we're not trying to be selective. We're trying to support anybody that is willing to come forward.
Awesome. So once we get through all this, hopefully it's sooner than later, but time will tell. No one, I don't think, really knows exactly just yet. But do you have like a long-term vision for the site? Is it going to continue on even after all this mess is behind us?
I don't know. That's a great question. I'd love if it didn't need to.
Right.
But we didn't really go into this with like a real long-term business approach. We're not trying to be, we're not really trying to make this website something that we want to monetize or turn into something that is really anything more than trying to support the industry. I think there's going to be a long period of recovery from this. And so I don't think, even though the threat may go away, that the effects will be it will be over. So I envision keeping this alive as long as we feel like it can help. And if there's a way for it to live on even beyond this current pandemic, that it can somehow become a way for us to help the fishing industry, even in, smaller issues or geographic issues like storm relief or hurricane relief. There are tons of people doing good in the fishing industry. We don't need to replace that. What we're trying to do is bring more of that to light. So if it lives beyond that, this current situation, I would see it in that avenue. Just, again, trying to bring more focus on ways that we can help each other. As the name says, we kind of kicked around names for this. It's really like, listen, we're all in this thing together. I've heard a lot of people say that over the course of the last month or so, as this has really become a challenging time for not only the industry, but for our country and the world. And I truly believe in the world of fishing. We always have been in it for one another. The fishing industry's always stepped up to help people that need it. And if this site just becomes a way to celebrate that long term, I guess I would view that as a win.
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. So what are like two of the most important things people out there listening could do to help spread the word, and I guess, if they have the means monetarily, just visiting the site and checking out the resources and supporting local shops and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I think it comes down to if somebody has the ability to give to one of these funds financially, fantastic. Otherwise, there are, if you're going to, and I'm not telling people where to spend their dollars. It's not, everybody from the biggest global retailers down to the smallest shop is hurting. But, be thoughtful about it. And if you're going to buy stuff anyway, maybe do it now because, people are, nobody's manufacturing, nobody's open. It's just a time that every dollar that goes into the category helps. Mm-hmm. And so it might seem silly, but I was just looking through online. There's a shop that is selling flies online. And I'm like, man, I'm just going to stock up on a few because A, you can never have too many. And B, it's a good time to do it. And I'd love to give these guys some support because it's a small fly shop that's not doing a $1 worth of brick and mortar business. Yeah, they've got no people walking in their store. So if I can spend a couple bucks, keeping those guys afloat, then I know that the next time I go fish over there, they're more likely to be open. I depend on them when I go fishing over there. I love going there. It's part of my experience. And if I can somehow put a couple dollars into their pocket to hopefully provide a little insurance that they may still be there the next time I go, I feel like that's me doing my part. So people can do that, or else look at, even just look at what guides are booking trips further out. And, again, if you've got the financial wherewithal, if you're thinking about doing something in September, why don't you book it now and give that guide a level of confidence that they're going to have that booking when things turn the corner. And again, not trying to predict when we're out of this or when that would be appropriate, but looking forward is and trying to be optimistic is, I guess, one way to potentially at least give these guys the confidence that their business will return as things even out a bit.
Yeah. There's a lot of fear right now and people in uncertainty. So anything I think would help. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing and creating this site. I think it's going to be a great resource for people. So really encourage everybody to go check it out. And even if you're just taking in the for fun kind of entertaining content, it's definitely worth a visit. And if you're able to, help out and spread the word.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate, again, you supporting us.
Yep, of course. And thanks for your time.
Thank you.